that it only takes 4 days to get 100% sober on average. 4 days for all the alcohol to process 100% out of your body. 4 days, and you're just as sober as someone that's been sober for 40 years. Dude, not every drinker is an alcoholic, but if all you pay attention to online is fear-based alcoholic content, even some of the stuff that I release, you're gonna convince yourself that you are. So if you're one of the thousands of people that are watching scary alcohol content and hoping that one of these videos is gonna scare you into putting the drink down, this message is for you. Oh, did you know that only 8% of people that have a severe addiction are actually gonna need real medical assistance? So why are you acting like every single person that's drinking alcohol is dying of liver failure? I have a question for you. Why do you think the very first video I ever put out about alcohol got 9 million views? Was it because I was casually sitting around going, hey guys, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about, alcohol? No, bro! What could possibly get 9 million views? Is it my background? Was it because I was talking about alcoholic? Was it? No. What do you think? Really think about it. Why would one of my only videos I've ever released about alcohol for the first time go viral? It's because fear triggers engagement. In the last year, I've had over 427 one-on-one conversations, people joining the Beyond Sober program. And a majority of those people follow me because they thought that I was gonna release a video that was gonna scare them sober. But in reality, it scared them into drinking more. In time, the content we consume becomes a mirror. That mirror actually confirms our fears instead of guiding our healing. Someone asked me the other day, why do I keep seeing all this crazy liver failure, cirrhosis, hepatitis, pancreatitis videos? Why do I keep seeing your yellow face? I'm fully convinced that I'm gonna go into withdrawals. I wholeheartedly believe that all these other creators need me to be afraid. Why do I keep seeing all this content? Where's the middle ground? This is because the algorithm rewards extremes. Hospital visits, stories about liver failure, car accidents, anything that could captivate your attention. Why do you think I showed a picture of me bright yellow? Did I get your attention? So just using that logic, it makes sense to assume that most people that drink alcohol or who have been practicing deep alcoholic behavior are not going to tell you a story about liver failure. They're not going to go into the depths of their withdrawals. Do you know why? It's because they never had those experiences and it's probably boring to hear about. When was the last time that you followed a creator, you heard a story, and they were talking about, well, I was drinking kind of a lot. It was like, every few days, and I had like 6 drinks, and then, I started drinking 4, and it felt a little bit, dude, get to the point, dude. None of this is captivating. I don't care that you used to drink alcohol and now you don't. No, I want the extreme. Dude, you already lost my attention. Why do you think I'm talking to you like this? I need to keep your attention, man. Otherwise, you just scroll on. You probably already did. The interesting part is there are more people who were practicing what you would call alcoholic behavior. People who looked like and acted as if they had a full-blown addiction that just put the drink down and nothing bad happened. They didn't have any withdrawals. They didn't need to go to rehab. I personally met people who were drinking way more alcohol than I did. I had a full-blown addiction for 2.5 years, taking 1.5 liters of vodka to the head, man. 30 shots a day. Physically addicted, needed it to live. These cats were drinking way more than that. Not a single problem. They were a little tired. They didn't have any withdrawals. They didn't need rehab. They didn't need doctors. They didn't need medical support. They just put the drink down. Nothing bad happened. But why would they create a channel? Why would they create an account? And why would they feel the incessant need to share that story with you? It doesn't do anything. So it's important to understand that alcoholic behavior exists on a spectrum. There are people that could drink gallons of whiskey every single week and not have a physical dependency, barely have an emotional dependency. And then there are people that I've personally met who literally start to have withdrawal symptoms if they don't have at least 1 beer a day. Some people have a full-blown dependency, an addiction. Some people have been drinking so much alcohol for so long that their brain and body really don't know how to operate efficiently without it. Some people need detox. They need rehab. They need the hospital. But you know what? Most people don't. When was the last time you were scrolling and someone said, you know what? I thought I was going to need detox and rehab in the hospital and hire a coach, but I didn't. Who cares? As a recovery specialist and someone that's supported thousands of people with the books, with the programs, with the resources, with the coaching, we need to stop looking at things online and then self-diagnosing based on what we're perceiving, and then continuing this alcoholic behavior and exacerbating our circumstances. I promise you, you're probably not an alcoholic. Alcoholics don't want to drink alcohol. They have to. So if you've made it this far, just know that it only takes 4 days to get 100% sober on average. 4 days for all the alcohol to process 100% out of your body. 4 days, and you're just as sober as someone that's been sober for 40 years. Sober is sober. You cannot get more sober than 100% sober. But staying sober, that's where most people struggle. Staying sober is why we have tools and resources like the BeyondSoberBook.com. That's why we have communities. That's why we have guides and downloads. That's why we have complete programs like Beyond Sober. That's why we offer coaching. Anyone can get sober, and every single person that did was once convinced that it was impossible, that they were the one with such unique circumstances that they were never going to see a sober day. But if you could stop for a day, that means you could stop for a week. If you could stop for a week, you can probably stop for a month. If you can stop for a month, you can stop for a lifetime. There is nothing stopping you other than the fear that sobriety is what you have to worry about. And people argue with me. They get in my comments. I get death threats. People saying that I'm dangerous. People saying that I'm hurting others. People saying that I'm putting other people in danger because I'm telling them that just staying away from the alcohol isn't good enough. We need to evolve into someone that could never consider putting that poison back in our brain and body. That's evolution. So if you or someone you know has been scared into sobriety, or the fear of sobriety or not drinking is continuing those habits, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're definitely not broken. The approach that you're taking just needs a stronger foundation, and that's why I continue showing up. So if you've made it this far, don't be afraid to check my page for more details on how I'd love to help.